Hey guys, what's up? It's Jules here for WhatCulture.com with another episode of the most insane things happening in wrestling this week. The show that does exactly what it says on the tin in the most annoying way possible. You're welcome. And yes, I am back off of my holiday after seeing good friends, some good music at Art Tangent Fest, and my mother. Easy, lads. But now I'm back to bite down on the leathery skin of wrestling and figure out what it tastes of. So, it's good to be back, but it's better to crack on, so let's hit that intro. So, let's kick things off by talking about Braun Strowman, an unbelievable talent powerhouse in the WWE who, through quite a weird start when he was back wearing his pissy pants, has come a long way with the crowd and in terms of his in-ring performance. But unfortunately, the WWE have started to get their grubby little mitts on, which are oily from constantly caressing Roman Reigns' hair, and as a result, they've dropped him on the f***ing floor. And by that, I mean that they've turned him heel. Why? Why? So here's the thing, Braun looked designed to be the next big thing. He was gaining steam with the fans and in the ring. He was crushing opponents and he had to go through quite a lot of WWE shithousery along the way. Let's not forget he tagged with a child. He became Brains Strowman. And yet, the people still loved him. He could get anything over. So the WWE thought to themselves, well, if that's the case, let's try and get Roman Reigns over. No, that's not what you should have done. He did it anyway. But no, apparently all roads lead to Reigns, which is why now they're trying to get us to cheer Roman Reigns as a babyface by having Braun as a heel, going and siding with Ziggler and McIntyre, the other cheeky cads. But you know what? It's not even f***ing worked, because we still booed Roman and we actually cheered Braun for beating the shit out of him. And it just goes to join the myriad of other times that the WWE have tried to get Roman over as a babyface and failed. And you know what? I've written some of them down for you. Isn't that nice of me? Yes, it is. The Rock endorsing him didn't work. Daniel Bryan endorsing him didn't work. Seth Rollins stealing his big moment didn't work. Sheamus stealing his big moment didn't work. Triple H putting him over at WrestleMania didn't bloody work. Had The Undertaker put him over at WrestleMania didn't bloody work. I can't really go any harder than this, so I'm just going to bring it back down again. He fed Bray Wyatt, Rusev, Samoa Joe, Braun Strowman and 2 complete tag teams to him amongst others. Didn't f***ing work! Gave Brock Lesnar X-Pac heat to get him over by doing the bare minimum of his job remit, and you know what? It didn't work. So there we go. WWE trying to get us to cheer Roman Reigns as a babyface. Are you having a giraffe?
2 weeks off on holiday, but now I'm back. Let's see what the happy hap is. Yeah, lads.
Yeah.
Do you know what? What? Giraffes. I know, right? Can you imagine making a gimmick out of that?
Oh my god!
You'd have to be a proper twat, wouldn't you?
Oh, okay. Having a giraffe, right? More like having a big just do every single week in and week out. Meanwhile, my show gets cancelled, right? And they just oh, that's fine, because it's Jules just wearing a stupid animal hat. It's only a joke!
Alright, walk it off.
Having the giraffe, mate. And now welcome to the Philosophical Corner.
When is the Undertaker an Underfaker?
Oh my God, Phil. I'm so impressed that still, Phil, after all of these episodes that we've done together, Phil, that you're still all in on this concept of the Philosophy Corner. Also, it's when some tubby prick pretends to be Mark Calloway. Do you think they bought that?
Yeah, they're stupid, aren't they? Yeah.
Yes, that is right. Even though this news story technically broke in June, for some reason it's only doing the rounds on Twitter now, so I was finally reminded of it that I didn't include it the first time round. So I get my second chance to talk about a man called Mark Calloway, who lives in Pennsylvania and tried to score some free drinks and respect at a bar by claiming that he was the Undertaker and that he would perform a tombstone pile driver on the bloody bouncer. And to his credit, He looks nothing like The Undertaker. He looks like The Undertaker if he'd been left under a heat lamp for 5 years. Bloody wax candle with Alice Cooper wannabe eyes. He looks like, I'll tell you what he looks like. He looks like a sack of flour if somebody kicked the shit out of it. Apparently, he also tried to convince patrons of the bar that he was the real Undertaker by allowing them to do chair shots on him. And you know what though, Mark? The real Undertaker wouldn't even take an AA at WrestleMania. You think he's going to let people do chair shots at a bar for a pint of f***ing apple sours? Actually, that'd probably work out quite expensive. I would actually. I'd take a chair shot for a pint of apple sours. I'd take a chair shot for a f***ing hug. Very lonely. But here's the twist. If you actually try to Google where this took place, you'll find that the bar in question doesn't actually exist. So that just looks like as much work has gone into writing this article as Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 20. Zing! Finally got him, boys. Don't worry, this Hunter. Maybe it was The Undertaker's spooky powers just making people forget the bar actually exists. Maybe the bar didn't exist at all. It's not. He's just a fat lump who tries to get free pints. This week, AAA put on their version of WrestleMania called Triple Mania. But the only thing that was 3 times stronger than Mania was how awful the f***ing commentary was. Zing. On the English commentary side, we had Saved by the Bell End Matt Striker and I don't know how to use a Mike Vampiro. Even though that doesn't sound like a clever insult, it's actually much more true because earlier on in the event, he didn't actually know how to use a mic, just tried to eat it. Weird man. Between them, the pair botched so many times and so hard that Matthew came in his kecks. It was that bad. I mean, just some of the highlights include the fact that Vampiro ripped a fart so loud that it got picked up on the mic. They didn't know what the twitch was, but the best bit of all was when Vampiro was called to the ring, but refused to get in until his music hit. He stood up and put his hands on his hips like an angry granddad watching the kids play ball too near his yard. But he didn't go in. For 3 minutes he stood there farting about and mumbling around. Now I know that doesn't sound like much, but trust me, as a person who's done live streams, 3 minutes is f***ing dead air. The deadest of air, fam. God damn, I feel sorry for Matt Striker trying to save it. He didn't do a good job of trying to save it though. He said, when he finally went into the ring, when his music got played, what did he say? He said, oh, Vampiro now goes into the ring because he was waiting for his music to hit so he could give a signal to all the fans that he'd had enough. Maybe getting in the ring would show people that he'd had enough. Just saying. All in all, while Vampiro might have himself on the mic earlier in the proceedings, this was the absolute stinker. Moving on. Now, I don't know how many aspiring wrestlers actually watch this show, but let me tell you something. Bumping really, really hurts. Like, I even managed to get hurt myself when we powerbombed Phil through a table. Pulled a muscle in my back. I'll show you the scar sometimes. It's very nasty. I'll put it in my autobiography. Which makes it all the more insane to find out that this week, Izzy, that little lass whose parents really aren't doing a good job, seeing as they let sweaty wrestling fans go and hug her at a recent event, was slammed into the mat by Effie at a Punk Pro Wrestling show for the cheapest of pops. Panda Pops cheap. They were that cheap. If you don't know what that is, it's a shitty soft drink in the UK. Now here's the thing. Wrestlers do start young in the business, but this, well, it just felt all sorts of wrong, mainly because her head slammed off the mat in a way that just showed that she wasn't ready to take that bump. In fact, loads of people after the event, including very esteemed wrestling talents, took to social media and complained about it, saying that she physically wasn't ready for that bump because of her age. Yeah, I know I would make this obvious joke about saying, is he having a giraffe or something like that? I could have used that, probably would have fit much better. But you know what? It doesn't feel right to make fun of this because all I feel is just this girl is very desperate to get into the business, but just gotta remember, look at the likes of Paige, look at the likes of Rey Mysterio, anyone else who started young, and look at the f***ing wrecks they're in now. Just pace it a little bit. Enjoy your childhood. Jesus Christ. And so we end with a childhood hero of mine. The reason that I own a very battered copy of VHS of TLC, Jeff Hardy, who for some reason is putting his body on the line once more, even though none of us are asking him to. You've earned your chops, mate. You can calm down. So his feud at the moment with R.K. Oh, yeah, he really stretches those last bits out, doesn't he? He's actually pretty all right, but for some reason he's decided that to take on the Viper, he has to do it in a Hell in a Cell. Now, Jeff, I don't need to remind you that your brother is effectively 3 brooms super glued together because of all the f***ing leg bumps that he took in his time. And the fact that you yourself have stopped doing swanton bombs at house shows because they f*** with your back. No one is asking you to do this. And let's face it, that swanton bomb that is going to happen is going to miss. It's going to miss because it's the best pops that there can be. I'm just saying, man, you're f***ing mental for wanting to do this. No one's saying you have to. Just ride off into the sunset. It makes you wonder whether or not this is going to be his last hurrah, really, doesn't it? As it would put a lot of heat onto R. K. I'll catch a bus in a minute. Oh, yeah, it would help him get over as more of a heel for getting rid of such a big baby face. But you know what? It was a bit of an eye-opener to see him announce this. Well, technically 2 pairs, because he paints another pair on, doesn't he? Anyway, here's to you, Jeff, you mad f***. And there we have it. Those are the most insane things happening in wrestling this week. Now, I would usually close out the show the only way I know how, by reading my favourite comments from last week's episode, but I wasn't here the week before, nor the week before that, so I feels wrong because that's Phil's crowd. You know, that's what he gets up to. But I want you to give me extra special love and extra special crazy comments down below so I can read out double the amount next week. I do want to give a massive shout out not only to Michael Sidgwick for his help on this show, but also to Phil Chambers, who has had all in this weekend with none other even than Simon Bloody Miller, the lucky sods. I didn't even get invited to the stream. Not that I'm bitter. Anyway, as always, I've been Jules, you've been awesome, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye!